I'm Grace Child. This is Tom Child. We're here today to talk to you about Breaking Free. It's an organization that Tom and I got involved in about 6 years ago. We had been going to some of the activities that they had, that they were involved in, and Terry Ferletti came and spoke at church, and Tom and I ended up getting involved in the board of directors.
Breaking Free is a non-profit organization that helps girls get out of sex trafficking and the life of prostitution. Today's sex trafficking is the most hideous form of slavery. Girls just like your daughters and your granddaughters are kidnapped, drugged, mentally and emotionally and physically beaten. Breaking Free's mission is to end all forms of prostitution and sex trafficking. Breaking Free offers a 12-point attack to accomplish this, including legal assistance, outreach, psychotherapy, treatment, relapse prevention, a drop-in center, crisis management, an emergency shelter, and most of all, safe permanent housing. With 41 apartments under a master lease, these girls have a place to go when they leave their pimps.
It actually started with Terry Ferletti, who is now the executive director of Breaking Free, coming to Crosswinds and spoke between services. And Tom and I were looking for something to get involved after our retirement, and we started going to some of the activities that Breaking Free had, and eventually Tom was asked to be on the board of directors. And soon after that, he asked me to come along. So we've been on the board of directors now for probably about 4 years. There are lots of things that Breaking Free puts on, and Tom's going to talk about that.
For 7 decades, my opinion of prostitution was the movie Pretty Woman starring Julia Roberts. Men paid women money and all was well. After hearing Terry speak, I started to question my own thinking. At first, as a white male from the suburbs, it was difficult for me to get involved since it was an Afro-centered Sisters Helping Sisters organization. Yet it was a business, and it really needed someone with a business background on the board. But as soon as I started to hear the stories of the girls, their life stories, I understood that this was a place where maybe I could make a difference. Let me tell you about Shauna. I hope I can make it through it. It was my first Christmas party, and I went early to help with decorations, setting up tables, carving turkeys, whatever I could do. Across the room, I saw a gal putting ornaments on a Christmas tree. So I walked over, and this gal was probably mid-20s, very quiet, and I introduced myself, and she said her name was Shauna, and I asked, could I help? And she looked up and said, sure. There was, as she was putting the ornaments on, I put the hooks on the ornaments, and she very carefully placed them around the tree. And then she went and got some long, shaggy gold garland, and we put that around the tree. And then she went and got a string of lights. And we tried to put the lights on the tree, but it was becoming kind of difficult at that point. And I said to her, you know, it would have been much easier if we'd put the lights on first, then the garland, and then the ornaments. And she looked at me and she apologized. She said, I'm sorry, I did not know that because this is the first Christmas tree that I've ever decorated. And I told her, well, it really doesn't matter because it's the most beautiful Christmas tree in the room.
The first thing you could probably do is go on Facebook and check out their Facebook page. They have lots of really good information on that about how you can get involved. Actually, Crosswinds has already done a lot of work with Breaking Free. Some people have given clothing and furniture. Of course, we had the big food drive a few weeks ago. That was just really wonderful. There's an awful lot of things that you could do. The biggest thing for me and what really warmed my heart was every Christmas we get a list of families, and we put together stars and put them on the Christmas tree. Lord knows how we're going to do that this year, but at any rate, people buy gifts. They tell you what they want and what their age and gender are, and they bring them. And I can't believe that what's happened with Crosswinds with this Christmas gifts. There's been, I think last year there was over 80 Christmas gifts that were given. So if you want to get involved in something that Breaking Free is doing, please talk to Tom or I, and we'll try to head you in the right direction. It's a great, huge, wonderful organization.
I celebrate the work that Tom and Grace Child are doing at Breaking Free. I'm Shirley Duncanson, and it was their passion that pulled me onto the board there for a couple of years. Breaking Free, as I see it, is far more of a ministry than a simple organization, because the women of Breaking Free realize what it is to be saved. They know and experience that saving grace every single day, and they look to Breaking Free as God's instrument that pulled them out of the despair and the depths of heartache and sorrow. It freed them from their pimps. It cleaned them from the drugs that chained them to the old life. Saved them from the street corners they were forced on, and became a place of rest and restoration. I am so proud of Tom and Grace for the work that they do there. Being on the board with them gave me an opportunity to see their love in action and the incredible difference they are making as they share God's love with people who just need to know somebody cares.